What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Redriveraviation. Hope you're all having a fantastic day today, and today we have plane spotting at Denver International Airport for you all. I really hope each and every one of you are excited for today's video, and without any further delay, let's go ahead and get started, everybody. So welcome to this plane spotting, as this is the intermission between the flight from Cabo and then our flight going on to Tulsa during March of 2023. So very excited for this. This was a little abbreviated for various reasons, but the good news is we do have some really fun content for it and a really good story to go with it. So overall, I was pleased with it. I wasn't expecting any spotting, so the fact that I got some was really cool, and I was very happy with it. So let's go ahead and get started. So feel free to watch that trip report on the United Airbus A320 coming in from Cabo, so you can know where we're picking up right here. But this is taxiing into the apron as we speak right here, and we have an absolutely gorgeous Lufthansa Airlines Airbus A350-900. This aircraft is currently coming in from, I believe this was our Munich flight. It's been awesome to see Lufthansa's success here at Denver, and the more and more I go there, the more I recognize how cool this service is for them. So that's been awesome. Here's some various pictures of it. I think the first one that I started with there is probably the best one, but an absolutely gorgeous paint scheme, and it looks really nice. So that was really cool to see here as we were rolling up. So that was really nice. Nice sunny conditions as well, which was certainly nice to see. So ultimately, that was really nice. And try to get some various shots. Again, this is through the A320 window, so this was a little tough. So what can you do? And then we have the Southwest 737, likely an international arrival from a Cabo or Puerto Vallarta or equivalent destinations. Nice to see that. British Airways also has an awesome operation here as well. Here's their Boeing 787-10 arriving in from London Heathrow. So really great to get to see their 787 also on full display here at DEN. So that was absolutely fantastic on the other side of the pillar. And then here we go into the extension gates already, where we have the Star Alliance United 737 making an appearance. This is the older one, 76516. So it was really great to get to see the Star Alliance here. What a gorgeous livery it is, and it's always a treat to get to see these various special liveries. So certainly very pleased about that, and we get some more shots coming up, but ultimately was really pleased for how it came out of the window. So I was really happy with that, and that turned out really well. So that was awesome. Especially that one looks really cool with the catering trucks. So that's a really nice shot, and definitely can work with that in the future. So absolutely awesome. We had the hold here because the 787 wing that you see right there was taking up our gates, so that's what we were waiting on. So in the meantime, we were able to get some pretty cool shots. I know this one isn't the prettiest, but I'll always remember this shot very what's the word I'm looking for? Distinctively, because of all the different liveries that you have in there. And you also have this aircraft up top too. I don't even know what it is, but this definitely screams Denver at its finest during the transition of liveries. So that's really cool. So you got all these extended B gates for the regional jets, 145s, and then you got your mix and match of 737s and even some heavies over there at the hybrid gates. So very nice to see that. Really cool shot here as well with both British Airways and Lufthansa. This is also a really big staple of what Denver is internationally. So this shot also very distinctive in that way, and also cool to see the construction on those gates. Here's spotlight for the JetBlue Airbus A320 with fence tips rolling in. So this was really nice to see on that day. So cool to get a trio shot. I believe I might have got it on my iPhone, but nevertheless, I did get a trio shot. So that was cool. And again, here's the Dreamliner that we were waiting on. So a little bit late to push, but that's okay. This shot's also really nice too, with the various Evo Blues and Continental Globes. So was really happy with that. Unfortunately, as you can tell, the window blurred out some of the picture here, but still a cool shot of the 757. In fact, I can't tell if that's a 3 or a 9. I need to zoom in because I flew 9. That might be the plane that I flew. That's 57869. I flew this later on. I can't tell if it's a 3 or a 9. I'm sure I've seen both of them at some point though. So just an interesting observation there to say the least. So that's pretty cool. I might get a better one. We'll have to see. Let's see if this can keep scrolling here so I can see what we're doing. Oh, had to get it all the way zoomed out. Okay. Here's the 777-300 though. These are pretty tough to find at Denver, so I was very happy to get to catch this aircraft. Very well could have been a substitution, but probably San Francisco or equivalent destination. But yeah, these are pretty tough to see at Denver. So that one was awesome. Look at the jet bridge, how high it had to extend there. So that's really cool right there. Another shot for good measure, trying to get as many good ones as I can. This one's really good. I'm very happy with this one. The clarity turned out real good, so that's certainly a post-worthy shot. That's a gorgeous shot with various planes. Certainly demonstrates what the United fleet is all about at this time in 2023. And then as you can tell right here, you also have this lineup, which isn't the prettiest shot, but what can you do? This is honestly a really good Dreamliner shot. I was very happy with this one with the clarity out the window again. We sat for probably 10 or 15 minutes, which was a little unfortunate. I'll explain why here in a moment, but luckily I was able to make the most of it here, getting these pictures, and the cargo loaders look really cool. So ultimately really nice shots right there. There's the 350. And there's Spotlight taking up A33 right there, so that was also nice to see, so very nice. Plane is moving at this point, so that's good news. Here's the 737-900 right here, loading up at A25B. Starlines, once again, we had to do 2 loops, so we got the second dose of that, so that was certainly nice. The tails once again, and here we are pulling in. This is kind of a cool picture too. And welcome to our gate. We also got Louisiana 1, but it was on the far side, so unfortunately, I wasn't able to get it outside of this picture, and I'll explain why once again here in a moment. So really good story coming up to explain where we are in this particular sequence right here. So ultimately, tough shots, but what can you do? I was also very frustrated about this one because the lighting was so good, but here's the Lufthansa A340-300 from Frankfurt. Another tough situation, but at least we tried. So this picture certainly looks really nice though, so I'm not going to complain with that one. That one's really good, but we did our best, and you know, it's not great, no doubt about it. This one's okay. I mean, I did what I could, so I can at least go down saying that I did all that I could to get some good shots. And again, the window angle made it so tough to get any good ones. It sucked because the lighting was so good, but luckily this made up for it. So here we are going to immigration. If you don't know, at Denver, the second level's immigration, they do have some really nice windows up there. Thus, we were able to get some really cool shots of this Starline 737-800. So really pleased with these. Really nice to see all that ground service equipment towers back there too. So this was a really cool vantage point, and definitely will be motivation to fly through Denver even more for international connections if possible, because this walk is certainly one of a kind. It's really cool. So that was absolutely awesome to see right there. There's the 777-300 from the side as well. And then we have the JetBlue A320 Spotlight tail with the EJ Lube titles, which is really nice. So this one was also very cool. Again, with the GSC, definitely gonna have to brighten up the shot. It's a little dark, but certainly some really good content to work with right there. So very happy with that, to say the least. That was awesome. And an absolutely gorgeous shot of the British Airways Boeing 787-10, a Dreamliner. Gonna be tough to beat this with the cargo getting loaded there and all the other components. That's a really, really cool shot. So I'll just let that sit there for a moment. Really admire how cool the Dreamliner is, from the nose to the engines, the various components. It's a really awesome plane. Dash 10s are also kind of hard to find, so this was certainly a special moment in that particular situation. So that was absolutely awesome right there. And the Uniteds in the back also make for a nice backdrop. So that was really cool right there. So definitely going to remember that shot for a long time. Of course, you can tell, like I was talking about with the nose, it was very, very cool angle to see right there. So that was awesome. Bravo Lima Charlie for the prefix. Then we got the side shot, and I don't think I was able to get head on because it didn't extend far enough, so that's okay. Also got a really cool bridge shot right here. So what happens at Denver is, due to the airport setup, you walk across the taxiway on the overhead bridge, which is really nice. That takes you into the Jefferson Terminal, where there you go through immigration, then you have to re-clear security and come all the way back. So this was a little unfortunate, as it was a time drainer. I think the security took much longer than the immigration, which was unfortunate. So I think this turned into about an hour process by the time we got all the way back, because from there you then have to get underground and take the train all the way down to wherever you're going. I was trying to go to the C patio for Planespotting. Once you get the C, then you have to go all the way down to the end. So that's another probably solid 5-10 minute walk, depending on if it's a moderate walk or a faster walk. So it certainly took about an hour to get over there, which again was unfortunate due to how good the lighting was. But luckily we were able to get some good catches once we got over there. So I'd say at this point it was probably 5 o'clock or so, maybe a little bit earlier. No, I would say it was earlier. It was probably more like 4 o'clock. So it was nice to get these bridge shots, though. I've never got to get vantage points like this. So this was certainly a cool one. Again, with Southwest taken in there. And then you also had some Frontier construction on their gates, Air Canada A220 in this Frontier here too. So that was really cool. Okay, and I also got a cool iPhone shot of the polar bear and a couple others on the other side, but it was backlit, so the camera would have overexposed it bad. So that's why that's not here. So again, that process took about an hour. Feel free to watch the trip report, but it was pretty good. Went into immigration, that went by fairly quick. Then went back through security. That took a little bit of time, probably about 20 minutes or so. Once we got done with that, then we went underneath on the train. Again, solid 10 minutes probably. And then by the time we got to the end of the concourse, it was about an hour's worth of time. So what can you do when they come for you? Here's where we're picking up as we got in Terminal C, and I had to make some intermediate pit stops because this was getting close to the end of the Canyon Blue 800s, and I'm very glad I did. 8649 Alpha has since been repainted, and I think there's only a couple as of the time recording. By the time this video is getting uploaded, there's a very good chance that there's none left. So very glad that I chose to stop, as it was very meaningful to get to catch a couple more. This was one of my very last 800s. This is probably my last good shot of an 800 with splits. I got one in Orlando, but it wasn't very good. So I think this might be the last really solid one that I got. So very glad to get this right here. Very special moment, to say the least. That was awesome. gorgeous plane to say the least. Then we have the Spirit Airbus A320. Unfortunately, they probably have pulled out by the time this video is getting uploaded out of Denver, so that's very sad, but they had a good run. So cool in the hybrid livery, and glad they got to serve here before they moved on to their next adventure. So what can you do? And this is from way far down the sea, but I did get the British Airways 787 taxiing, so that was certainly cool. So, and then we made it to in the patio. Sun was in and out here, but luckily we were able to get some really cool ones. So take a look at these. Then we got the 145, and then the Sun will be back soon, so don't worry, you can see it back here. But again, love all these Denver Air Connects. Definitely want to fly them soon. Some of their prices are good, others are bad. What can you do? So yeah, certainly cool to get to see all these the Metroliners. And here comes the Sun. So starting off with a couple of typicals, Southwest 737, one of the older ones in the fleet with the registration prefix, and I see that. And this plane was really cool. This is the United 737-800. The reason that it is though is because it's 36272. This is either the I'm thinking that this is the NG release from 2020. I could be wrong on that, but that's the plane that comes to mind. I'm thinking this actually was Star Wars. I'm like, there's the registration caught my eye. I'm not sure what it was off the top of my head. This is actually the Star Wars plane, I believe. I might be wrong on that, but this, I believe, is the Star Wars registration. So only could imagine what it would have been with the lighting. Unfortunately, I never got to catch it up close, only contrailing. So at least I did get to catch it though, so I was very pleased about that. But cool to at least get it in its new state. So there is some meaning to it. So it's certainly cool to get to see that right there. So again, lighting was very nice. So that was awesome. And we have this Southwest 737-700. And there's United once again. And then we have this 737 MAX 8 for Southwest. So that was also great to see there with the LEP engines. So we absolutely love to see that. Again, the cool shot of Donier, really want to fly it, but they pretty much only fly these the Telluride, and that flight's usually always really expensive. So definitely want to grab it at some point. We'll have to see when we can do that. Telluride Airport, though, seems really cool. So hopefully at some point I'll be able to snag a ticket on that sometime. Here's the 737-700. And here's Air Canada's A220. They've really been kicking up the US lately on these, so that's been awesome to see more of as of late, so that's been really fun. And there's the United CRJ200. These are going to be around for some time, so definitely keep enjoying them, as Delta just retired them theirs as of the time of this recording. Here's this United 737-900ER, another cool plane, and the Southwest 737-700, also looking absolutely spectacular here in the lighting. Enjoy it because it's about to fade, so, but it looks really great right here, so no complaints. Here's the 737-800. Again, I just love how you get so much variety at the United hubs right now. What I just said, here's the 737-900, again in the Evo blue paint scheme, and the sun's starting to fade. I don't know if it comes back again or not, but here's this Delta 321 looking really nice, and another 737, and here's this Airbus A319. That looks really great. Love the Evo 319. I'm gonna have to change my camera settings at that rate. Here's the Metroliner. Definitely want to get on this one too. So who knows, maybe a Denver day trip to get these Denver Air Connect aircraft could be in the near future. SkyWest 175 also looking really nice. Glad to see that aircraft on the move. Sun making a reappearance here for the 737-800. Again, it was pretty phenomenal that I was able to get down here before the sunset with how you had to go through immigration, security, train all the way back, then walk all the way to the end of the concourse. Took some time, but definitely not a decent international setup. Not the best, not the worst. So we'll certainly take it right there. Here's this United E175 looking very nice. And the Southwest 737 getting towed right in front of us. If you recall, this was the one that actually just arrived. So just arrived, deplaned, and now it's getting towed over to the ramp. So that was certainly nice. Kind of surprising though over spring break on a Friday, so pretty interesting. Here's the SkyWest CRJ200. Airport was very busy, by the way, I should say. Was very happy to catch the Lufthansa A340 despite the lighting circumstances. That was absolutely awesome. Of course, it's tough to see, but luckily earlier in the year, if you remember, I got a really good picture of it landing, so it wasn't the end of the world, of course, but certainly glad to see as many Lufthansa 340s as we can. So that was nice. Look at all those flaps too, so really cool. I'll just back it up, see if we can find the best shot with the best lighting. Bunch of grain. I'm going to take assumption now is probably a manual here. I'll take the blame for that. Luckily, new camera equipment's in full use at this point by the time this video is getting uploaded. So very excited to revisit situations like this in the future with better equipment. So ultimately, though, really nice and glad to see it right there. Southwest 737-800 Tennessee 1 sneaking into the picture. So this was my second time catching it. I caught it at Tulsa a few weeks prior to this in better light. So great to see it again, though. Absolutely not going to pass it up. So that was fun. The reflection is pretty cool. So get quite a bit of exposure work and certainly can work with it a little bit. But overall, not too bad to say the least right there. So that was certainly very nice to see right there. And then we have this, sorry, it's not wanting to scoot back on me. There we go. 737-800 getting towed across. So this one is also very cool to see. Again, I was kind of surprised that they were getting towed, but that was just how it was going on this Friday. So what can you do? And here's the 737-700. The reflection was cool, pretty much dead sunset at this point. And then here's the Commuter 145. These are less common at this point because Mesa integrated in Americans, so it was certainly nice to get to catch all these commuters before they kind of snuck out and they went over to the East Coast, and obviously still pretty common in Houston. So I think there is still a couple there. I don't know if they still have the crew base or not. I would assume so, but as you can tell, they are certainly quite a few more Mesas now over at DEN, and we'll see in future spotting videos the results, so that'll be nice. Here's the 787-9 taxiing out. Absolutely great to see another United Dreamliner here with the reflection and the beacon. Sun trying to sneak out just a little bit here at the end, so we love to see that. And here it is as we got this 175. It snuck out here for a nice little period. That was kind of surprising. Here's this American A321, this before they moved the C, I believe, so that's very nice. United Airbus A319. Again, it was very brief though, so no complaints. That's a cool shot though. United Boeing 777-200 right here, looking absolutely fantastic. And here's that Airbus A319. I love this alleyway shot as you can get them taxiing in. I think it's really cool. Anyways, though, here's the wardrobe malfunction on the triple, so glad to see these, and definitely want to fly another one in the future, so glad to see that right there. Airbus A320 Evo Blue. I would love Gemini to make a model of this now as we got the Delta 175. So still after flying a actually no, I flew the 320 Evo because of the substitution in New Orleans. I forgot about that. So definitely still want a United A319. Still haven't got one yet. So hopefully we'll be getting one soon. So very nice right there. 777 arriving in, absolutely gorgeous right there with the 200 ER, I would assume. And here's Denver Air Connect taxiing out. We've seen 972 so many times, so maybe we'll get lucky enough to fly 972. Their 145 flights are really cheap from my observations, so might have to do one, we'll see. But definitely would like the Metroliner or the Donier for variety, although definitely would also like a 145 for them too. Again, here's the Evo 320. Really nice shot in the Max 9. These have really been invading Denver as of late, so certainly been nice to get to see. That's kind of cool with the double tail right there in the reflection, so that's nice there for United. That beacon's really solid right there. That could actually use some work. I think I'm into priority at this point, thank goodness. Another Airbus A319 with Evo Blue livery, which is awesome. This is my first time seeing Allegiant at Denver, and it was certainly quite an interesting one. So I believe this is going out to Asheville, North Carolina here for Allegiant. It's interesting for them to be here. At some point, I would like to utilize their Appleton flight for Oshkosh if possible. So don't be surprised if I end up finding a way to get on Allegiant out of Denver, but they certainly have quite an interesting presence here. Their Colorado presence is pretty small. This is their largest operation. They also have flights to Grand Junction, I believe, the Vegas and LAX. So yeah, but cool to see that they have an operation here. I think it fits the build well for them. So it's working, and now they have Harrisburg, I believe, Pennsylvania, which is another long, interesting flight. So maybe they can get a crew base sometime. Kind of kidding, but yeah, very interesting to see their operation here at the Denver International Airport. So quite crazy. Airbus E220 taxiing out, perhaps the one we saw at the gate or the other one that we saw. And yeah, going for a nice little prop blur here with Grain Central on this Metroliner, so cool to get that. So there it goes taxiing out with the little CRJ hatch in the background, so nice to get some unique shots of this. Max 9 taxiing in right here as well, looking great, and a beautiful reflection off the 737-800 with scimitar winglets. Somehow saw one without scimitars the other day, so we'll certainly evaluate that in the future, which was pretty interesting. But yeah, glad to see all these various United schemes, so that's awesome. And lastly, we had the Spirit Airlines Airbus E320. This is definitely the one we saw at the gate, taxiing out for departure, and a nice way to finish up this spotting session. So yeah, here's our next trip report. This will be on Southwest 737-800 with service. Finally got a better picture. I was like, man, the previous ones were tough. Let me see if I can find the best one, because I thought that I did a little bit better than that. Okay, no, I didn't. So let's... it's this one right here. Southwest 737-800 with service over to Tulsa. Very excited for this trip report as it's a very good one. So certainly stay on the lookout for it on 8673 Foxtrot. Really great to make the most out of those circumstances at DEN, considering how tough the spotting conditions were, but certainly was very pleased with that. And we got a bunch of cool aircraft. Certainly nice, especially considering that I wasn't expecting to spot due to how long immigration was going to take, but it ended up going fair, so glad to get as many shots as we could. And now it's going to be on to the Southwest 737 trip report. So I hope all of you enjoyed this video, but nevertheless, that'll do it for today's video. Thank you all so much for watching. My name's Redriveraviation. Take it easy, everybody. Stay safe, trust process. Do you love and love you do. My name's Redriveraviation. I want to thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all soon as Redriveraviation is signing off.